You're a citizen of the empire known as Vrowen, which is under the rule of King Banner Garagali. It's a very large and prosperous empire where technology is growing amidst cultural art growth. Even the population has grown to where most of the large cities are expanding out and going into some of the countryside. All the adjacent empires are expanding also, and some of the relative peace among these empires is being strained due to all the population growth and the growth of technology. Around 3 years ago, the Council of the Six, which includes six of the largest empires, gathered, had a meeting with their main emissaries, their scientists, their explorers, and other intellectual fellows. They discussed and agreed to construct ships to send out in search of unknown, undiscovered lands for future settlements. Work began expediently, and within a year or so, the first ships began to sail. Today, the Council still meets to trade information, but the progress is slowly beginning to ease into the greed, and it appears the empires are starting to land grab as much as possible, claiming these new territories for their own means, their own progress. The name was given of this venture out in undiscovered land of the New World Order Exploration Forces. Your empires employed you based on your specialized skills that will be needed in these new lands. Payment's good, supplies are excellent, equipment is excellent. It's good to be alive now, knowing that your actions are going to help set the course for the history of your empire. Progress is waiting for you as we begin. We find three ships that are selling, have been selling now for quite some time, probably 2 months, maybe 3 months, into the seas. Until late one afternoon, land is discovered. It appears as you approach this land in the calm seas, it is mostly it looks like a sandy beach, and you notice behind the sand part, it appears to be some type of large, tall grasses, maybe 4 or 5 foot tall. And as we get there and approach the land, and the three ships are sailing in, we find our three players tonight, each of them on a different ship. We start with you, Crystal. Tell me about your character. Tell me the name of the ship that you're on, and tell me what you think about finally finding some type of land source to be explored.
Uh, the ship I'm on is apparently it was named after the captain's daughter, according to according to rumor on the ship. She had been born just before they had to set sail. He's not sure if he'll ever get to see, though he holds hope that he will one day. Is Danny Silver. He's an explorer by title of the Empire, but what he really loves to do is to perform simple tricks people call magic. As he is off duty at the moment, he is in the cellar and he has his feet kicked up on the table, hat pulled down over it. You'd almost think that he was sleeping, but he's not. He's just kind of observing. A group of sailors walk up to him and sit down. The one man who sits down says, "These fellows here tell me that mine. I'll buy you a drink." Danny smirks a little bit as he says this, and seems to be thinking. Sailor says, "So you professional magician or what?" Danny then kicks his feet off his table and leans in and says, Tell me, what's the difference between an amateur magician and a professional? He pulls out a deck of cards as he asks this and begins to cut them. I'll tell you, a professional has to fan out the cards and ask you to select one. The sailor reaches out and picks a card as Danny pulls them back in. If there was a camera in here, you would be able to see that the card says nine of spades. The man puts the card back in the deck randomly as Danny pulls out the deck. Tell me when to stop. He begins to flick the cards, and as he does, the sailor randomly says stop. It lands on the 3 of hearts. Danny pulls the deck in again and says, now an amateur, just as he must fan the deck out, must also cut his deck to get his card on top. He shows the man the card, 9 of spades, and puts it down, back in, tosses. Everyone face down. Everyone seems sort of impressed by this. Danny then says, a professional doesn't need to fan the deck. He simply needs to snap, and the card appears as he needs to look at each other and reach out for the deck. Then he pulls the deck back and says, nah, not here. Point says, there. The settlement says, you're full of shit. Danny just like, and the man flipping the card over to everyone in the place goes a little bit nuts, says, Danny pulls the card back in, and the sailor agrees to bomb his drink. Danny, if I could blow your mind. But I managed to blow your mind twice. With this, the sailor smirks and says, all right, fine, you cheat. All right, drink for this man and make it a double. And
what's the name of the ship that Danny's on?
The SS Anna Maria.
Anne Maria, okay. And also, Crystal, if something's draining your bandwidth real bad, you've been chopping in and out real bad, just to let you know something else is draining your bandwidth, just to FYI. Jan, we jump over to you. Tell me about the ship that you're on, the name of the ship, and how do you feel about hearing the news of it finally land is in front of you to find this new undiscovered world?
You see a man wearing purple hat and well-groomed dark hair. Gordon is clad in fine clothes and jewelry. He carries an elaborate bejeweled holy symbol around his neck. And he says, "Oh, finally, we arrive. The news of Dryland is most welcomed indeed. Of course, I had no doubt that we'd be successful, for God is watching us. It was by divine providence that we are the chosen ones who would colonize this brand new continent." And he's very happy to see the land. The ship that he's on is Santa Carrera.
All right. Sounds good. When we move over to the third and last ship, it's in this voyage, as we scan over and see Alex. Tell us about your main character that you're playing, the name of the ship, and what does he think about this land?
So I'm playing Tulio Bolianos. He is, well, he got in, his paperwork cleared out, like last minute he just showed up, got on the boat with the paperwork saying that he needed to be there. Anyone who read the paperwork had never heard of any of the people that had signed it, but it all seemed legit. He actually is only on this boat because he is, the papers were all forged, and he's trying to escape some serious jail time. He always seems like he's, out there helping, leading the troops and stuff, but if you pay attention closely, he rarely does any actual work. So he's just hanging out, talking up to some people, and yeah, he's got a buddy on the boat named Miguel who came with him. So they talk a lot, and they are on the boat called the Drifter.
Yeah, and on the Drifter, we find maybe some of the less worthy people on the ship as far as the quality. You find maybe on the other ships some of the middle class or the upper class people that are on those ships. But the Drifter is going to have the workers and the people who are here to maybe hide from other lives, it would seem, is that may come into play with Tulio's background. We'll see.
Yeah,
'Cause
well, I mean,
would,
according to anyone military type, his paperwork checked out. He's a military guy for sure.
yep, and we'll see is y'all land, and you would know that the three ships that you're going to have roughly about 60 people that are coming initially to find this undiscovered land that are going to land here and try to build or see if it's worthy to build a settlement or if they need to move on to somewhere else. But as you land on this sandy beach, the three ships are set anchored, and you take in the boats of bringing people and some of the supplies that have been sent with you. Most of everything that was sent from the Empire has made it. The seas were not choppy that much. The seas were pretty well easy to get here. Things are going well. You're looking forward to this as you move into this beach area, and you notice just inland from the sandy beach, it appears to be where you've come in. There appears to be these tall grasses that are probably 4 or 5 feet tall, that are just kind of blowing back and forth in a breeze. As you start unloading some supplies, it's late afternoon. You would expect maybe 2 hours. It's going to start getting dark. So as you've come onto this undiscovered land, what would y'all like to do as far as try to set up for the first night, knowing that you've only got about 2 hours to set up some kind of shelter or some kind of protection?
Well, Tulio is gonna, start delegating, seeing where things should go, walking around, being, all right, we should put this over here, put that over there. Basically just bossing everyone around. But he doesn't seem bossy when he does it. He seems authoritative. But really, he's not going to do anything. He's going to give the appearance of work. And that's
all right.
Did did the Empire send out any tents with us?
Yeah, there would be some some tents that would secure and help for enough people to find shelter. Maybe some of the older people or some of the upper class people who are going to, of course, rush to them first.
Okay, yeah. So Danny would get in and get a tent if he could possibly do that. He is fairly dexterous, so if he could get in there without being seen and grab himself a tent, that's what he would do. Do I need to roll for anything to see if I can, or?
No, you can help set up a tent. I mean, these are going to be big tents where there's going to be a lot of people staying in them, but yeah.
Okay, so he'll do that, and once he has his tent up and everything, then he'll go grab a big cauldron pot and start a fire and start helping to cook meals for himself and for other people, that kind of stuff. He'll be relatively helpful as they're setting up.
All right. What about our priest as he lands and is helping maybe unload some stuff? What is his plans before dark?
The priest, as he puts his step on the beach, he leans down and kisses the ground. And he says, he offers a prayer. He holds a little quick ceremony. And he says, "O Lord, bless us as we embark on this divine endeavor. Watch over us as we face possible death and devastation. Give us divine courage as we begin doing your work. and he rallies other folks and asks other people to help him build a little chapel.
All right. Work continues as the other people on the three ships continue unloading things, and you would know that one of the ships actually brought some lumber itself from your empire to maybe build a few small shelters or small buildings over the next few weeks. But you would also know that you're going to have to go out and hopefully find some kind of forested area to gain some more and make your own lumber. But as we worry mainly for the first night, is Danny has said he's helping with some of the watch fires and the campfires and the cook fires if you're getting them going. And it's starting to get dark, and the sea's still calm, moving very slowly. The waves coming in this sandy area, and the grasses are still moving in the wind that are behind you. And that's really all that you can see where you're at. You're pretty much at the H there, your home base, and all this light area is all these grasses that are blowing. I'm sorry, all that's the sand. The yellow looking is the sand, and all these grasses are blowing behind you. It seems to go for quite some area, except this one area here that's right behind. It's kind of a dark, blackish area, and you notice all of these trees that are in there. It seems like they've been almost ashen color. They're dark black and dark. There's nothing growing on them. All the limbs and branches are coming out of them are dead, and the needles that are falling off of them are dead. And it looks like that whole spot there is just completely some type of dead zone. Is one of the first things that you would notice right before dark.
As Danny is taking a break after doing some work, he's sort of watching over the camp, observing things as he sort of plays with his cards in his hands, shuffling them and like making them jump from one hand to the other. And he observes Tulio always barking out these orders to people, but in a really, clever way. And Danny says to him when he's within range, "Well, you sure are the sneaky sort, aren't you?"
I can tell by looking at you, so are you. Nice to meet you. And Tulio offers his hand and says, Tulio Bolianos.
Denny will take your hand and he'll shake it slightly, and he'll retrieve it after that. And he sort of is messing with his cards, and he makes a card to sort of float out of the deck, and then he starts making it spin, and it just seems to be spinning there in midair.
Huh. Well, that's interesting.
Is it?
Well, I feel like you should know that it is. There's a card spinning. Not normal. It's not what cards normally do.
He looks at the card. He looks down at it. He sort of like waves his hand over it and under it and keeps it spinning and says, yeah, I guess it's not what they normally do, is it?
Tulio just frowns at you. He's not sure what your game is. But whatever it is, he's not buying.
Gordon, at this point, approaches the two of you and says, "You two over there, what are you doing idling about with cards?"
Hey, I don't got no cards out. I'm just... This man came over and talked to me. You can ask him what he's doing.
I saw you giving orders earlier. You seem to be a man of some responsibility. Well, if you could help me find some sort of water so that I can bless them for the rituals, that would be most helpful.
Julio gestures at the ocean, says there's plenty of water over there.
No, not the salt water. I need some fresh water.
Well, if you think we should be spending fresh water on blessings, then, yeah, I'll go find some fresh water.
My thanks to you. But of course, we should spend fresh water. It is by God's divine will that we have reached the land. Otherwise, we would have sunk, or mutiny may have taken us all.
I just want to do a slight retcon. When you say ask him, he's the one with the cards. Danny makes the card stop spinning and brings his hand down on the deck. And when he brings his hands back up, they're empty. And he says, "What cards? What are you talking about?"
What? I thought I saw them. But perhaps I have been spending way too much time out there in the seas.
No. This guy's some kind of charlatan.
Charlatan. That's a big word.
Well, get along. Go along and find me some water. Fresh water.
Yeah, sir, sure. And Tulio's gonna go look for water.
And Tulio would know it's very dark by now. I mean, it's dark night as this is going on, and there are some stars in the sky, but he would know, of course, you have light sources of torches and lanterns and things that were brought in off the ships, but you know that it's dark as you venture out into the unknown.
I mean, I'm gonna go look, like, cursory look, see if I can't find something. I'm not gonna try that hard.
Yeah, how far do you want to go off of? Do you want to go into these grass? All you see is those grasses that are anywhere in this area right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna go check around the grasses. I mean, if there's grass growing, there's water somewhere. There might just not be very much. It might be all underwater. Who knows?
Yeah, roll me a d6 as you're going out. And anybody else? Are you going with them, Danny, or any?
Sure, Danny would go with him.
I got a 1. That's either perfect or terrible.
Huh. Yeah, as you move into these waving grasses, I don't know how tall Tulio is, but like I say, these grasses are varying between 4 and 5 feet tall, it appears, and just real tall, almost needle thin, some of them, and then some of them have wider blades, it would appear. And you would appear by searching around and knowing from your background, it would appear that whatever's feeding in and keeping these grasses alive is probably going to be something underground. You don't discover any kind of streams or lakes or anything in this area.
I'm gonna pull some of the grass out and dig a little bit. Maybe dig 2 feet down. Maybe a foot down. No, 2 feet down. I'm gonna dig 2 feet down. See if I can find, like, if water pools if I dig that deep.
Can I use my observant skill to see if I can figure out to see if I can know anything about this grass? Like, maybe know how it retains its water or something like that? Like, you know, the bigger leaves might absorb water, you know?
Wait, are you also a scout?
No, I'm an explorer, but I have an ability called observant.
You do? You have knowledge.
Explorer?
Explorer has knowledge.
Did I look at the wrong one? Maybe I just named it wrong. I'm sorry. I thought, was the explorer the one that could, like, pick locks and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's called knowledge. You can find and remove traps, identify strange items, and try to pick locks.
Okay, all right, yeah. So I just named it wrong by mistake. Yeah, I want to use my knowledge and see if I can know anything about these
Sure, roll d6.
plants. I got a 6.
Yeah, they're just some type of grasses that you have never seen before. It just appears to be natural native grasses to this land here.
Okay. I'll continue to look at him while Tulio is actually doing work. Actually, I'm going to say, like, oh, I'm surprised that you're actually over there digging a hole. You didn't ask me to do it.
Well, unlike some people around here, are actually of uses. He's gonna say, and he's just gonna dig a hole.
As you're digging your hole, and you mention the word surprise, you are not surprised when one of these grasses, one of the wider blade part of the grasses, lashes out towards you, Danny. So I need Danny and Tulio to roll initiative, please.
That's a D12, right?
Yep, straight D12, no modifiers.
I got a 9.
I got a 10.
Well, you either did better or worse than me. Congrats.
I did worse.
Oh.
The vine almost does catch you by surprise by rolling a 2. And this vine lashes out towards you, Danny, and it's just coming off this grass and stuff and just skirting across the ground at this fast speed as it goes and tries to strike at you. Somehow you're able to jump enough out of the way where it keeps going, and it seems like it's feeding along the ground there. As we jump to you, Tulio, what would you like to do as you see this vine or reach out and try to grab your mate?
How far is the edge of the grass? Like
You mean this particular one that's reached out, or just
no,
in
just
general?
the grass in general.
Oh, it's everywhere. I mean, it's. I mean, you're having to walk through it and push your way through it. I mean, it's.
Yeah, how far from where I am now until where I can not be in grass anymore?
I'm going to say y'all went in probably a couple of squares, probably looking, because each square is about a tenth of a mile. So you're about, you're roughly a tenth to 2/10 of a mile in. So I mean, you're quite a ways, 5 minutes in, 7-10 minutes in from the.
All right, I'm gonna see if I can. Basically, I'm gonna try and grab it and cut it with my short sword.
All right.
So I assume I'll just roll a normal to hit.
Yep.
12 to hit for 6 damage.
As you try to slice into it with that, you start to hit it, and it seems your sword doesn't go far enough into it to do any damage at all. As we move up to Danny.
Okay, I have a quick question.
All right.
Is it possible to, or like maybe we could do it like we do in the Thousand Tower thing? Can we use 2 weapons at once? Or like, I mean, have a weapon in each hand to use?
Yeah, but I mean, you're not going to get 2 attacks. I don't know what you mean by the Thousand Towers. But
Like in Thousand Towers, the way that it's done is like you can have a main weapon in one hand and an offhand and like a short weapon in the offhand. And then like if I think he gives you a +1 to AC in that one, but I'm not worried about that. But what his thing is, you roll a d20, and if you hit, if it's an even number, you hit with the main weapon. If it's an odd number, you hit with the off weapon.
And you get +2 to hit.
Is it a +2 to hit? That's what it was then.
yeah, I mean, if you want to have 2 weapons in your hand, that's fine. But there's not going to be any modifiers, plus or negative, and you can choose which one you want to strike with. It would just be a regular hit.
Okay. All right. So instinctively, Danny grabs for his fastest weapon. He jerks his hand down, and suddenly a dagger is in his hand, and he slices out kind of an underhanded cut as this plant comes at him. But the plant kind of took him off guard, so he just kind of swipes right under it, not hitting it at all.
All right. We'll go to the next round. Everybody D12, straight D12.
I got a 4 that time.
All righty. What about Danny?
I got a 4.
Both you and Tulio can go. You're both first.
I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna run away.
Yeah, Danny thinks that sounds like a good idea. He's gonna jog away as well if he can.
Yeah, both of y'all start leaving, and you see this vine or grass, whatever it is going to try to lash out. This time it's going to try to lash out at Tulio as you're both are running away. Ooh, a nat 20. Make me a save, Tulio. No modifiers, just straight.
Okay. I fail.
Yeah, as this vine reaches and grabs and lashes into you, you start trying to fall and trip. You're able to keep yourself from tripping, but it pierces into you, and this secretion or whatever it is of this grass and this vine, you'll take 4 points of damage. And it's also got you grappled and restrained at this point as this vine is curling up and trying to wrap up your whole body as we go to the next round.
One.
All right.
9.
Lead us off, Danny, as you see this happen to the newfound friend.
Yeah, Denny's definitely not the kind of guy to leave anyone on. So now he reaches down and pulls out his short sword into his left hand, and he'll rush in and hopefully cut this thing away um, from this ally. But he misses again. He just completely whiffs it. He gets nervous about hitting Tulio.
Yeah, and this vine, you're missing this vine, even being on your friend and maybe not trying to hit your friend. This vine keeps wrapping up around you, Tulio. You don't take any more damage, but it's still got you grappled at this point. And it is up to your turn.
Yeah, I'm going to try and cut it off me.
You can actually have a +2 to hit. Also add an extra +2 because most of the main part of it's grappled around you close.
Well, okay. I rolled a 19 plus 2.
All right.
And I rolled 4 damage.
Yeah, you take a pretty good chunk out of it as pieces go flying off, but it seems like part of it's still attached around you as we go to the next round.
I got a 2.
Alrighty.
I got a 5.
Tulio, lead us away.
Well, this time I rolled an 18 for 2 more damage.
Yeah, you take another big chunk out of it. It seems like part of it's starting to come off of you and spread off of you, but it still seems like there's part of it that has hold of you. Danny?
Yeah, Danny's gonna try and get in there and hit it with his short sword again. Oh, nice! And this time he's gonna hit armor clad. Or no, I'm sorry, it's ascending. So it's an 18 plus 1 for strength mod, so 19 to hit.
Yep.
And he'll hit for 5 plus 1 damage, so 6 damage.
Tell me how you cut this vine away enough that it starts going back from the direction it come enough for you and Tulio to run.
Yeah, so so when Tulio cuts it, the thing kind of seems to retreat a little bit, and it arches its kind of like spinal up, and when it does that, I just cut across the top of that spinal, and the whole thing kind of like just starts stripping away like green beans or something.
Yeah, and you're able to cut it enough to move away as you and Tulio head. Do y'all both want to run back towards the beach?
Oh yeah, I'm sprinting.
Yeah, we're both going.
Yeah, and you're able to safely get back to the beach, and you start seeing the cook fires and watch fires and stuff as you make yourself back to the beach without any more troubles.
Okay, well, by the time once we get close enough that they could hear me, I yell that there's dangers in the grass. Don't go in there. And then as soon as I get close enough that people can see, I'm just gonna fall down. Like I'm at 1 health.
Danny will. I'm sorry.
Gordon, being the healer of the party, comes out and he says, "Young man, you seem as though you've been wrestling a thorn bush to atone for your sins." And he kneels down and says a little prayer. And suddenly, you feel a little bit better. He casts Cure Light Wounds.
All right. How much did you get back?
Yeah.
Is it 1d6?
Ooh, I'd have to look. I think it's 1d6 plus 1 in one box.
Yeah.
5 plus 1, so that's 6 points of...
All right.
Yeah.
I am overwhelmed with how much I feel better.
Young man, what is your name?
Tulio Bolianos.
Tulio, you seem as though you went out somewhere. By fresh water. I meant for you to fetch a basin from our supply barrel. Where did you go?
I went out into the tall grass to go look for new sources of fresh water. I figured that would be one of the, first things we ought to go try and do.
I just meant for you to fetch me some water, but You had to go out there and try to dig us a new well. Well, I would say, be more careful next time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll do that.
But you have my thanks. And he takes his water, that he had from earlier, which he had to fetch himself, and then goes off.
As the night starts getting deeper, with a few hours, of course, to go before sunrise, of course, some of the other explorers and scouts that come with you three, and priests and scholars and different things are helping to set up watches. But you three would know that you would have to also help maybe cover some watches the rest of the night. And who wants to take first, second, third?
I'll take the first one.
All right.
Tulio is eager to point out that he is very badly injured, and he doesn't think that he can take a watch tonight. It's going to have to be someone else.
No, I saw those wounds you had miraculously healed by the priest. I think you'll be fine.
I still can't put too much weight on my leg. I think the running afterwards dealt some muscle damage. I'm going to have to rest this one off.
I took a little bit of the kinesiology back at university. Maybe I can help you with that.
Absolutely. You're going to have to do it tomorrow, though. I'm very tired from all that. I mean, I lost a lot of blood.
No, that's nonsense. I can do it right now. Just sit down and I'll give you a leg massage.
Actually, I'd rather if you didn't touch me, strange man that I just met.
Well, that's a little rude. I'm only trying to help you, friend.
Yeah, and I'm telling you in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, the sooner the better. And I may not be here in the morning, you never know.
I think I'll take my chances.
Well, I guess you can do third shift. But your leg will be plenty rested by then.
Tulo doesn't say anything. He's going to go to sleep.
He agrees. Great.
We start out with the priest, Gordon, who has called down his powers enough to heal the injured Tulio. Gordon, you make it through your shift with some of the other people. Nothing happens. It's pretty uneventful. It's a pretty cool night in a way, a little bit cooler than it's been on the seas as the night goes very uneventful for you. As you go and you start to see Danny and some of the other ones start their shift. Danny, it goes very smooth for you to also, nothing happens. And as you begin to know that it's the last few hours before dawn, that you go and you wake up Tulio.
I wave him away.
I will tickle his nose with a feather.
I will kick you.
Well, I mean, if we get killed in the middle of the night, I mean, I guess it's just your fault.
Yeah, sure, okay, whatever, man. Julio's he's not having it.
Danny, you go into sleep, and I guess Tulio goes back to sleep for the last few hours of the night. As morning breaks, all three of you is maybe, I don't know if you get up early or not, but it's up to you. But if not, just at the break of sunrise, enough to see. It's still kind of dark in places, but you hear a commotion going off kind of back to your northwest along the edge of these grasses, and a commotion of some of the other people who kept watch. And then you hear a loud voice booming, "Bring us a priest! I think it's too late, but we need a priest!"
Oh, bother! He gets up and he puts on his clothes and rushes over to where the commotion is coming from.
What about Gordon and Danny? Would they rush over there, or what are y'all's reaction to knowing some commotion's going?
And they said that they needed a priest. I'm going to continue to sleep.
I'm actually gonna go try and check this out though. I finally got enough sleep, but I'm gonna walk with a noticeable limp. It's totally fake, but I'm gonna limp.
All right. Are you back up to full HP though?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, I was gonna say if you weren't, you can overnight rest get you one back if you needed another one.
Nah, he healed me 6 health when I only had 4 damage. So.
I got you. Good job. Yeah, as you make your way, the priest and Tulio, as you make your way over there and start seeing this small crowd of people, you see a body laying there, and knowing it's one of the people, it was on one of the ships, of course, but I don't know if you know him or not, but you see him laying face down, and as they start turning the body over, you see this small, what appears to be some kind of dart or something that's sticking out of his neck. And you see a very large man that's well dressed already for the morning as he reaches down and pulls it out, and he looks at it and he goes, I would say this has some type of poison that has been injected into it. It's not something any of us would use. Did anyone see anything during the night?
Not I. I have not seen anything.
Everyone else pretty much says the same thing, that nobody saw anything. And as you pull this dart, you notice it's mainly wood with just a small metal tip on it. But you also sees it has like etchings and maybe some type of ruins or writings or something along the etchings of the wood part of this dart. And it's a small dart. It appears that it was probably instead of thrown, it was probably come from some type of blowgun.
My word, it seems like it was some sort of weapon. Not from a creature, of course. Then he leans down and checks the body. Is there a pulse?
Now, once you get closer and see that, and they turn the body over, you can tell this person is well past of receiving any type of even prayers from you.
Yeah, he leans down and crosses himself and says, May our Lord guide this poor soul back to whence he came from. And then, he offers a few more words of prayer and closes a man's eyes.
All right. What about Tulio? Is there anything you would like to do while you're over there watching all of this?
If Tulio can, he wants to look at the dart, but ultimately, from this he sees there are people who live here that do not appreciate us coming here, and he will say as much.
Yeah, when you say that, this very large man that is standing there in these well-dressed clothes, you would know, or maybe not know him, but you would have been instructed on the voyage itself that this is Sir Eric Paddleton, and he is supposed to be the somewhat leader or the new mayor of the new settlement that you make. He's a scholar himself and a very well-educated man. He has no inkling of anything to do out in the wilds like this. He is more of a scholar and a book person, but he looks towards you and he goes, well, they may not think that there are some native people here on this lands that we are not welcome, but we must show them that we are here as friends, and even though we have murdered one of our own, we must do our best to make friends with them, and peace is the answer.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind if they come shoot at me. I'll make sure that I don't shoot back.
We have to convert these savages to the civilized way, and religion is the best way to do it. I shall do my utmost to convert these savages so that they wouldn't murder the first person from civilized world that they look upon.
We shoot back to you for just a moment, Danny. Would you still be sleeping, or do you think you're going to be up by now after the commotion's still going on?
Now he'll if he hears commotion still going on a little bit, he'll get up and put his top hat on and walk out of the tent and see what it is that happened.
Yeah, you notice two things, Danny, as you walk out of the tent that you stayed in during the night. You notice the group off kind of to the northwest of where Gordon and Tulio and the rest of the people are. And you notice something else out of the corner of your eye, back pretty much to the north of where maybe you and Tulio went the last evening into these grasses. You see that area that was described as kind of grayish black and just seems like to be a dead spot of all these dead trees. But what catches your eyes, you notice it appears one of these trees is closer than it was the evening before. It appears that maybe it's depth perception or what it is, but it definitely appears one of the trees is closer to y'all's settlement than it was the night before.
Is there anything I can use to kind of recognize it as being closer for sure? Like, is there maybe a rock or something that maybe it was behind that rock at first and now it's like in front of that rock?
Yeah, I mean, you can, however you want to describe it, go right ahead.
Okay, yeah, so that's what it is. Like, there was this big rock, and like I specifically remember as we were going to this grass, I remember that tree, and I remember the big rock in front of it, and now this tree is actually in front of that rock, and so that's a little off. But Danny's not going to make any moves to really say anything about this out loud. He doesn't really know. Maybe he doesn't want anyone to think he's too crazy. So he'll make his way over to the commotion and where Tulio and this priest are at, and he takes out 2 dice and begins to kind of just juggle them around in one hand, and he'll get close to Tulio and say, "Hey, Tulio, you notice anything weird about the tree?"
Tulio looks over. Does he notice anything weird about the tree?
Roll me a d6.
4.
You were paying absolutely no attention last night to anything that would look different.
It's like, I noticed that it's all fucked up looking.
Yeah, it is all fucked up looking.
Such language. The priest walks up to you and says, "What are you two babbling about?"
Oh, just wondering about the tree over there. It looks pretty messed up. Makes me think maybe, I don't know, there is a source of water. It could be dangerous to our health.
Trees moving? Ah, you are silly. Don't be
Danny didn't
preposterous,
say
young man.
anything about a tree moving.
Roll me a d6, Young, also.
5.
Yeah, same thing. Everything looks in order to you about the tree.
Everything's is in order. But I have a question, young man. He turns over to Tulio. Says, "Last night when I asked you to fetch some water, you came back looking quite roughed up. What happened out there?"
Well, like I yelled about, there was some kind of vine that came alive and attacked us. There's you ever heard of a Venus flytrap? Something like that.
I may have, but if you could refresh my memory.
Well, basically, it's some kind of plant that can tell when things are there, and then it tries to eat them.
Preposterous! Are you saying that plants can move?
Oh, no, they definitely can. Yeah.
This is
Exactly.
most concerning. And you were saying that tree has moved. And turns over to Danny.
Danny never said that. I don't know why you think that Danny said that. Danny has not said that.
Oh, okay.
I said, like, I asked Tulio if he saw anything different about it. But when Tulio said that it just looked fucked up, Danny was like, "Yeah, well, if there is a water source over there, it could be bad for our health." That's all he said. I haven't said anything about the tree moving.
Okay. He just turns over to you and mentions that, looks to confirm whether if what Tulio has said regarding vines attacking is true. Did you see the vines move also? He asks Danny.
Crystal, you with us?
Oh, dear.
Oh, I hope our internet didn't go out again.
Anyways, let's just assume that Danny backs me up.
All right, then. I believe it is in our best interest to mention this to Sir Parleton.
Yeah, I
Because
mean, I was screaming about it last night. I figured somebody would have heard me.
because if I hadn't paid attention and if no one else did, then I don't think it has been addressed yet. So he walks over
Sure.
to Sir Parleton and says, "Sir Parleton, pardon me, sir.
Yes, you were a man of the cloth. I
Father,
saw you this morning trying to help the man here, but he was far beyond any help, even from your prayers. But what may I do for you?
yes, sir. Father Gordon Octothorpe Winthrop at your service. I have just talked with this young man, Tullio. That's your name, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Tulio Bolianos.
This man was fetching some water for me last night, and he claims that he has come upon a bunch of vines that attacked him. I recall from last night that he was quite grievously wounded, and without the aid of my lord, I believe he would have possibly died. It was a grievous injury, and I suggest that we look more into the claims of this young man, that there are dangerous vines out there.
There definitely are, and he's been limping this whole time. He's not stopped limping. He's gonna ham it up a little bit.
Yeah, as you say this to the mayor, as we will call him for now, as you say that to him, he's intently listening to you, Gordon, and he looks over at Tulio, and he probably would look at your leg, and well, I am having Sergeant Sergio Sanchez. He will be leading up the military for our settlement. I will have him and some of his best armsmen, his musketmen, go out and young man, you can show them where you found this vine or direct them in the right path. Is that correct?
Sure, I can take him out there, but we shouldn't be taking guns out to fight vines. We need our swords.
Well, young man, they will be well armed with the best swords and the best muskets, and there may be things that require both. I read it and have studied and taught it in the university.
Right. Well, I'll just go do that now. Where are these guys who are going out there?
Yeah, you would go back to the camp, and like I say, a lot of these names you would know. Maybe you haven't met them, or you would in casual glance on the voyage if they were on your ship. But you go back to a very small, maybe 5'5" Spanish guy, very dark skinned with this big mustache, and he's wearing a helm and things almost like in the picture that Yang has there. But he's a very short, stocky guy, and as he sees you approach, he goes, "Are you going to try out for the military forces I'm putting together?"
Are you gonna go check out the murder vines?
What do you speak of? Murder vines? Only people can murder is other people.
No. See, I just spoke with Mayor. What's his name? Because I forgot his name.
Oh,
Didn't I say his
Sir Eric. Yes, Sir Eric Paddleton. Yes, great man.
Yeah, Mayor Sir Eric Paddleton, and he told me to lead you out to where and he shows him his leg, which I'm sure there's still some indication of a wound there.
Oh
That's
yeah,
been healed.
definitely.
It's like I was viciously attacked by a vine last night. It came alive and wrapped around me, tore me to pieces. I'm having some trouble walking afterwards, and yes, I'm supposed to go lead you out to where they were so you can investigate them.
Well, let me get a few of the best men I have so far together, and can we leave in I don't know, in what we would say an hour? Is that good for you?
That should give me time to get some breakfast in me.
That sounds good. Be back here at my tent, or I'm sorry, the tent here, and I'll have a few good men. You can lead us that way. I take it you are one of the best scouts we have, huh?
I'm one of them.
All right. We'll see you in about an hour.
Sounds great. And yeah, he'll go get some food.
You spend your hour eating, drinking, and preparing for the going back into these unknown grasses, and maybe not really looking forward to it. What do you do, Gordon, as all this is going on?
He offers some prayers, but he feels that due to what he witnessed last night, that there's likely going to be some more injuries. So he puts on his leather armor, brings out his musket and arms himself with a light crossbow and his trusty mace, and decides to join the expedition. He
Yeah.
also tries to get some oil, like burning oil, from the supply depot, if there is one.
Oh yeah, there's definitely like flask of oil and stuff that you can take.
Yeah, and he grabs some torches, a couple of them, and joins the party.
Sounds good. And sure enough, in about an hour's time, as you two make your way there and see each other meeting up, you see this Sergeant Sanchez has also had three other men that have come up there, and you see they are well armed. They're wearing splint mail and with these fancy swords on their side, and wearing these helms, and they're all carrying these black powder musket rifles with them. Sergeant Sanchez looks towards you and he says, "Well, young man, lead us whichever way we're supposed to go. I understand it was last night during the dark, and we'll try to find it the best we can and hack through these grasses."
Well, I can get you directly to where I went because, I remember which way I went, but I'm going to tell you guys. Put away your guns, you're fighting plants. Grab your swords.
Oh, these are the finest men I have so far. They will be ready for any challenge we meet.
Okay. Still, swords out, not guns, but this way, and he'll lead them on over. He's only going to be like 5 feet ahead of them. Normally he would range out quite a ways, but he's, worried he's going to get murdered.
All right. Yeah, you make your way, and from the area where you and Danny run back and we went through and run back. I mean, it's part of that still mushed down of the natural grasses and stuff. I mean, it's pretty easy to find your way back. A couple of tenths of a mile into that area, and sure enough, you come up on the area where it looks maybe a lot of y'all's foot traffic and stuff where the skirmish was, and you actually see some pieces of dead grass laying there that is just laying there that was probably hacked and cut off. But right now, everything's pretty much still.
Right, he stops on everyone. He says, "Okay, maybe about 5 feet that way is where we got attacked, because we ran away a short ways, and this is where we fended it off. So it's right over there." And he just points, and he doesn't not walk over there. He just points at it.
Yeah, and you see the three men with him as he's directing and ordering them. You see them kind of, fan out and looking around. What would you be doing, Gordon, at this point?
He tells him, it's like, wait, hold on a moment. Are you saying that those bushes over there, they're the ones that attacked you? And he points over to, in the direction where Tulio was pointing.
No. Somewhere in those bushes is where the thing that attacked me is.
And you're saying that those were vines also, yes?
Yes, absolutely. He picks up a dead piece of vine and says, "This. We cut it off of the thing that attacked me."
And he motions to Sanchez, and emotion suggests that everybody should huddle together to discuss what to do. I'd say if we are to go over there, and same thing would happen, then it would be a great tragedy. Perhaps we should throw rocks at it, or try to burn it and see if the bushes indeed move. I brought some oil here. We could toss it over there and set it up on fire.
As you say this to Sanchez, he's holding his hand up under his chin, and his mustache is kind of twirling and moving on its own, and he goes, Well, good priest, you are not trained in the art of warfare and combat as I am, and even though that is a good idea that fire sometimes will burn anything, I don't believe we want to take a chance of setting all of it. He's looking around, scanning around both sides, east and west. I don't believe we want to set this complete grassland on fire, do you?
No. He nods.
I mean, it may be okay to try to go poke around with a torch and, maybe burn a little bit. You can stomp out, but I have my man fanning out and looking, and all of a sudden at this point you hear, ah! As you look up and you see one of his men that is fanned out back to the northwest of you, as he reaches up and he grabs his neck and he starts falling on the ground. And you see part of the grasses and stuff moving over where he was. And as you do, both of y'all roll a d6 for me.
6.
4.
You see something waving and moving. It's not natural in that grass as far as, it's not just the wind blowing these grasses. It's probably a good 20, 30 feet from you.
I put my hands up and I say, wait. Whoever is attacking us, I'm saying wait to them. They probably won't understand me, but that's what I'm doing.
Gordon, on the other hand, yells out, "Savages! It must be savages!" And he dives on the ground.
Alrighty. You see the other two men that are with Sanchez run over towards their companion, and one of them's load his musket out, is pointing out the way of where these grasses are moving, and the other one's kneeled down, and you hear him go, "I think he's already dead. There's nothing we could do for him, even with the priest here." But and he looks back, "Priest? Where are you, priest?"
"I'm over here." He raises his hand and waves it, but quickly puts it down.
Yeah, and as this is going on, you hear a noise coming up behind you, Tulio, and as you turn and look, you see Danny coming through the grasses from behind you from a different direction as Danny comes and joins your party.
Danny, get down. Someone just shot us.
Just shot at us. Okay, Danny will grab his longbow and take a knee.
Everything seems to be pretty quiet over this direction of where you saw the grasses move for just a moment as something was moving in or out of it or through it. And sure enough, you hear the one guy go, "No, priest, stay where you are. There's nothing we can do. He's dead."
"Oh, curses!" He rolls over in the ground and pokes his head out and looks around.
You see the Sanchez, the sergeant of the military, look towards all of you, and he goes, "We must fan out in formation and find these savages. They will not get away with the murder of one of my men. Get your weapons out and let's move forward."
Is that grass the same grass that attacked us earlier?
That's where you were at. You have returned back to the spot they were investigating to try to find any of it. And all of a sudden, one of the soldiers that went with you has got one of those darts sticking out of his neck and has fallen dead to the ground. And Tulio and them saw an area of grass that was disturbed, something moving through it.
Can I move up, kind of towards the edge of the grass, but not so far that I'll get attacked?
Yeah, do you want to move towards the area where it's disturbed, like maybe something or someone was there?
Yeah, sure, that'll be fine. I just want to move up kind of like closer to the grass and maybe try and like hide behind it, or if there are any rocks or anything like that.
Yeah, no, there's no rocks out here. It's all grassland, but you can roll me a d6 as you move up that way.
5.
One of the soldiers also moved up with you, Danny, further up. He's holding his musket out as you and him move up to this area, and you don't see anything as you're looking around, but you hear him yell out at you, and he goes, "There! There he goes. And as you look and see, this is what you will see. Running off away from you is this very small, as he's carrying an axe on one deal, and it seems like he's got some kind of blowgun or something strapped across him. This very small, humanoid-looking figure that stands about 4 foot tall, and he's wearing just like a loincloth type deal around him. And as he's running off the grasses from you, he's about 30 foot, and he's running away from y'all.
Okay. Huh.
Gordon yells, "Capture him!"
Yeah, Tulio's gonna book after him.
Yeah, can I shoot an arrow at him when I see him?
Yeah, he's about 40, we'll say 40 feet.
So that's close range, right?
I believe it is for a bow, yeah.
For
Should be.
longbow.
Yeah, should be.
Oops, that wasn't damage. I roll a total of 13.
You see is maybe something about maybe he has a natural hearing or something as you see your arrow take true flight. And as soon as it's fixing impact in the back, his back or his shoulder, whatever, which is completely bare with no coverings, you see him just barely duck out as the arrow goes past and barely missing him.
Man, I've rolled max damage too. Sucks. All right.
He keeps running. He doesn't turn and look at you. You've never seen his face yet, but you've seen everything else from the back as he's still running away.
Yeah, I'm gonna chase him down. I'm gonna try and tackle him.
You are roughly 80, probably 80 feet from him, and you can try to catch up with him if you like, if y'all want to continue to chase him.
That's exactly what I would like to do.
All of you do, you three, plus, well, you see Sanchez. I have to get my dead soldier back to the beach. These two will go with you. As you three and the 2 soldiers that are still there pursue this guy, you see him go through the grasses, and you see him, even for his short, stocky size, he seems to be very agile, very dexterous, and moving very fleet of foot, because it doesn't seem like you're gaining any ground on him. Y'all pursue him for a little bit. As you move along, you continue to the.
Can we try to shoot him?
Yeah, you can get close enough if you've got some type of bow or some long range missile weapon you can shoot at him.
Yeah, my character levels a gun, musket, and says, "By the divine right of God, that savage shall be either converted or fall where he stands." And he fires away, and I rolled 13.
The same thing, it just happened with where Danny tried to get him with the arrow. You see the shot that you know with your knowledge of your firearm and your training, you know it's a good shot. But you see as it's almost there that maybe he just ducks down enough or just moves just barely out of the way for it to miss him. What about Tulio or Danny? Would they try to have any missile type shot they want to take at him before he's moving on through?
Oh yeah, sure. Can I do a call shot?
I mean, tell me what you want to do, and we'll go from there.
I want to try and shoot him specifically, like lower, like maybe in the legs, if I can possibly do that.
Yeah, I mean, you can try it. Excuse me. We'll see what happens if you hit him.
Okay. All right. This time I rolled a total of 14.
Are you shooting another arrow, you said?
Yes.
Tell me where your arrow hits him in the leg, then.
I hit him right in the back upper quadricep, and I do 2 points of damage.
Yeah, you see the arrow hit him as he stumbles, and he's still up, but you see him, he doesn't turn and look towards your direction at all. You just see him take this very muscled up bare arm as he just breaks the arrow off. And, of course, it's still in his leg, but you see him break the haft of it off and drop it, and he's moving along kind of like Tulio was the night before. I mean, he's still moving, but he seems to be limping somewhat at this point.
Yeah, Tulio is not going to shoot him. Tulio's just going to try and catch him. He's focusing purely on the running.
Yeah, and you see even with trying to catch him and maybe the injury he has, y'all notice that you're starting to enter an area that seems to be more forested now. The grassland, this grass is changing to what appears to be some type of forest. Nothing like the dead trees that were on the beach, but I mean these are pretty tall, pretty. They're not very big around, but they're pretty tall, very green forest as you're moving into it. And everybody roll a d6 as y'all move into this forest.
I got a 1.
I got a 2.
I got 3.
Tulio, you see, of course, with your knowledge and what you do as a scout, you see where he's moving. You see this small humanoid that is running away. You see him still maintaining some distance on you. You've caught up enough with him you can see which direction he's going as you're following along. And y'all continue following him unless somebody wants to take a shot at him again.
Yeah, Danny will go ahead and take a shot at him. Oh, nice. This time I do 21 to hit.
Yep.
And I hit for 4 points of damage. No, 5 points of damage.
Another arrow?
Yeah, 5 points of damage with the longbow.
You see this arrow, you see this arrow strike into his lower back area, and you probably start seeing some blood dripping down as he grimaces down, and then looks like he's trying to reach and grab that arrow and break it off, and he starts running again. And you see him disappear into a little thicket of area. Probably Tulio, you don't want to saw him the best. Of course, Danny got a good shot on him, but he's probably now 60 feet in this thicketed area that he's moved into this forested.
I mean, I'm gonna continue to try and all I'm gonna try and do is catch him until something terrible happens.
All right. Yeah, you continue to.
Is he leaving behind a blood trail at all now?
You haven't not reached quite yet the area of where you haven't seen one yet from the leg wound, but as you're getting closer, maybe from this second shot that took true, you start seeing a little bit of blood. But as Tulio's just 5 foot, 10 feet ahead of y'all, as he enters this more thicketed area, you see Tulio ahead of you, what appears to be maybe some type of what you would know as a cave or cavern complex. Instead of it really setting up, it seems to be going down. Like when you enter it, it seems like it goes down underground.
I continue to chase him.
All right.
Is he out of visual range?
Yeah, when you get up there, Tulio, since you're first, when you see this cave or cavern complex, you're pretty sure that that's where he run into, but you do not see him at this point.
Because of a turn, or because I think he's starting to outpace me?
Because I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Because of there's like turning going on in there, or do I feel like he's outpacing me?
You feel like he's still outpacing you a little bit, but you can definitely tell that it's going to be completely dark in this cave.
All right. Can I light my lantern as I'm running?
I'm going to say no. You'd have to stop at some point and light it real quick.
Okay, I'm going to slow down just long enough to light my lantern, and then I'm going to keep chasing him.
Sounds good. Danny, you and Gordon and the two soldiers have caught up with Tulio as he's lighting the lantern, and you're roughly 10 foot from this cave complex, and you see it where it appears like it just goes straight down into the ground instead of anything up.
Tony, I messed up. I've been looking at the wrong character sheet, which, like, in my head, I thought it was weird, but I didn't think about it for some reason. Danny doesn't have a longbow. I have a sling I could have been using, but I forgot. I was looking at my other character sheet.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, it didn't kill the guy, so I mean.
So you can just give him back 2 HP if you want to, because I would have been using my sling. I would have hit him those 2 times. You know, I just wouldn't have had the 1 extra damage.
Yeah, that's fine. It's no big issue on this guy. Believe me.
Okay. I just want to make sure. I didn't mean to do that. All right.
You see, the rest of you, I don't know if you had any. I think Gordon had a light sources that he brought with him. You see Tulio lighting up this lantern, and you see this pretty much 10 foot wide going into this ground.
Yeah, Gordon has a couple of torches, which he's brought upon embarking on this little expedition. But he looks at the other guys and says, "You know, it seems like we have lost that little fellow. Perhaps it is a good idea for us to return to our base camp.
So far, this is our only opportunity to talk to somebody.
Yeah, and you see one of the soldiers as you say that, Gordon. You see one of the soldiers look at Tulio and nod at Tulio, and he goes, "Yes, we need to find this guy and bring him back for interrogation. He has murdered 2 of our people."
Look,
Danny
look,
says,
can't get all into the murder back thing. We are intruding on their land. We just need to make sure they understand that, despite their actions, we're going to be peaceful.
Danny says, what makes you think that we would even be able to talk to them if we were to catch them? I mean, they've never seen us before. They don't know our language.
It doesn't take that long to work with someone long enough to understand each other.
But I do agree we are technically invading their land. However, that's also kind of what the Empire pays for us to do.
Okay, the mayor told us to get along with these people, and Tulio's just going to run in there.
All right, Danny will like wrap his sling. He wraps it around his arm and ties it off, and it basically looks like a bracelet or something when he does this.
All right. Y'all have your light sources enough. The 2 soldiers didn't have any kind of light source, but of course, Gordon could have gave him a torch or something as the one at the rear. The soldier at the rear shoulders his musket, and he's carrying a torch as y'all move into this. And Tulio, if you're leading the way, sure enough, it's a pretty wide, like I say, 10, 15 foot wide, is it's just going down into the ground. And you proceed in, it seems to widen even more, maybe 20 foot. It's pretty dark in here. It's a natural rock formation, though. As you move along, roughly probably 40 feet down, you don't hear this guy or see anything at all. It's pretty, like I say, it's dark besides of what radius of light you're getting from your torches and lanterns.
I'm sorry, I must miss it. There's a way to go forward, though, right?
Oh, yeah, you can continue. Like I say, once you continue down, it seems like it's just widening open. This cavern complex is widening, making a wider berth.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep going, then.
Yeah, you move down 40 feet, and it appears that there's ledges that are going off to your right, back to your northeast. And it appears like there's, it's good areas back. That area seems to be about 10 feet wide, but it appears like there's these ledges that are maybe 10 feet high. But if you went that way, you're going to have to use some type of rope or grappling hooks or something to go that way, or you can continue on straight into the main part of the cavern complex.
Yeah, we're going to acquire grappling hooks and stuff. I don't think he went that way, so that's not the way I'm going to go. I'm going to just keep running.
As we're traversing this cave, Denny's going to say to Tulio, you try to act all authoritative and selfish, but the truth is you have a much bigger heart than most of us.
Yeah, Tulio's running. He doesn't have time to talk.
Huh. Tulio, you keep moving forward. Like I say, it's still open. It's 30 foot wide, you think, probably. I mean, it's plenty of room for ever y'all to move across. But as you move in, you notice off to your left, back to the west now, you see what appears to be a depression into the cave where it goes down. And it appears it's some type of pit. It seems to be a pit in this cave. It's dark in there, very dark. Or you can also, of course, continue the way you're going. Just to let you know, it seems, luckily no one has stepped into this pit. I mean, you noticed it with your light source.
I'm going to just yell, look out for the pit, and keep running.
Yeah, and it's a huge pit. I mean, it seems like it's pretty big radius of pit as you continue forward.
Yeah, I'm going to, shine my lantern on it so it's easy to see as I run past it, and I'm going to just keep going.
Danny,
roll me a d6 as you put your lantern in the line over there for just a moment.
I hope it's important because I got a 1.
It's very important as you're still moving and notice and observe. It appears to be, you see maybe bones and carcasses of animals that are at the bottom of that pit. Appears to be about maybe 10 feet down. 15 feet down as you're running by.
So where they're disposing of corpses, I guess? I mean, I keep going. Like, that doesn't seem to be where he is. He's not down in that pit, so...
Right. Yeah, and then as you move another 20 feet along, this cavern completely expands and opens up to probably 60, 80 feet wide. It's pretty depth, and you start noticing as you're continuing along, you notice all these crystals that are naturally formed, that are coming out of part of the walls. And the way you notice them, not just with your lantern light and torch light, is you start noticing they're giving off a real faint glow, kind of a whitish silver glow. And they're just sporadic through both sides of this cavern as you're moving up that way.
Can I hear the guy in front of me running on stone?
You hear nothing. It's been quiet since you've come in here.
I'm gonna keep going.
Gordon from the back yells out, Tulio! Tulio! Can you hear us?
I'm running. Yep.
Danny, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Where are you going? Young man, you can't just rush into this dark cavern. No. It echoes as he yells.
It's not dark. I've got a lantern.
Danny would like to. Danny's going to take out his torch, but he's going to make it look cool. He just kind of seems to reach behind his back for a second, and then when his hand comes out, he has a torch in his hand, and he waves his hand over the top. And as he waves his hand, he's actually using his tinderbox to create a spark to light the top of it, but it makes it look like he just waves his hand over and the flame comes on.
Gordon's eyes widen as he's impressed by that display, but he makes sure that no one else sees it.
All right.
And Danny is going to actually going to take time at this pit. I want to start looking over the animal bones. Can I use my knowledge to see if I can determine anything about these animal bones? Maybe what time they are,
just
or
looking up.
Like that?
Yeah, from looking up top, you're not going to. You'd have to climb down in the pit. I mean, it's 15 foot down there.
Okay, that's cool. Then I'll take out some of my rope, and I have a grappling hook. Is there somewhere I could
actually, one of the soldiers in the back that had the torch also, he stayed there with you. He's helping you if that's what you're going to do.
Okay, yeah. So I'll hand him one end of that rope, and I will attempt to climb down into that pit carefully.
Yeah, as you're climbing down into the pit, we jump back to Tulio, who's leading the way. Tulio, make me a saving throw at -4 since you're running so fast.
All right. Is it against a trap?
Nope, it's not. Just a regular.
Well. I fail again.
How bad? Like real bad or just?
Bad enough that if it matters how bad it is, it's probably bad. Let me see. -4. I fail by 8.
Yeah, you're running along and holding your lantern, and you're maybe trying to tune in to the listening of hearing some footfalls ahead of you. As you run into this, what you would know as you run into it and get caught in it, you would know it's actually a spider web, but it wasn't visible as you run into it. I mean, you just run straight into this web, and it has now got you, and you are caught. And you start hearing a skittering coming from top of the ceiling as Gordon and the other soldier make their way up there.
Can I move at all?
You are completely trapped in this web. So we'll roll initiative as Gordon and you and the other soldier.
One D12, right?
Yes, sir.
2.
All right. What did Tulio get?
Oh, you want me to roll? I thought I couldn't do anything.
Well, you can try to get out of it if you want to, but.
I got a 6.
Gordon, lead us out.
Tulio, why have you stopped? And all of a sudden, he realizes that he's caught in a spider web, and hears the skittering. He pulls out his musket and levels it towards the source of that sound and says, "There is a giant spider coming your way." and fires away.
Yeah, if you're gonna, you haven't actually seen them, so if you're gonna show, you can shoot that direction, but it's gonna be at -4. It's pretty dark up there, but you can shoot.
Okay, yeah. He rolls 4.
Roll a d10 on your misfire.
Oh no. 7.
Yep, you're good.
Woo.
You see the soldier that is standing there with you, Gordon, and sees now that Tulio's caught and entrapped in this web, trying to break free. And he looks where you shot, and he goes, "Yes, I hear it. It's coming from that way." And he fires his musket. Ooh, he may actually hit something. Nope, he just barely. His shot barely rings off and hits the cavern up there. It was much closer than your shot, though, Gordon. And now you see what is coming down from the ceiling as it comes down, and it's been distracted by you, Gordon, and by the soldier's fire. And you see this spider, the size of one you've never seen before on your world, your lands, this huge black spider as it comes down and starts skittering towards you and the soldier, Gordon. And is going after the soldier. Ooh, it will hit the soldier, but not a very good hit. You see the soldier as it bites into the and bite to him. You hear him let out a scream. And as he lets out this scream, he also looks towards you, Gordon. He goes, my feet are frozen. I can't move. Help me. Tulio, we are up to you.
I'm gonna try and light the web on fire.
Yeah, with your lantern, or you just
Yeah.
gonna pull the hood up or whatever and try to. Oh, that's sure. You can set the web on fire.
Great. When the web burns enough that I can break free, I'm gonna break free.
Yeah, you're trying to get out right now. We're going to say, and I will let you know when you get out.
Sure. I mean, you want me to roll a save to try and jerk free, or what?
No, you're still getting free as you're burning the web. I mean, you don't have to right now. All right, Gordon, you Tulio won't. Well, yeah, Tulio, you can roll initiative just to be in the count in case something happens.
Well, whatever. I go last.
Gordon tries to help the guy, the soldier out. He says, "Lord, help his faithful," and try to pull him off of his frozen footing, I suppose.
Yeah, what'd you roll on your D12, though?
Hold on. Wrong one. 8.
Ooh, okay. You see the soldier start freaking out as he goes first. You see him freaking out, and he can't move. It seems like his whole body, that whatever the spider has done to him is put him into a paralysis. He's just standing there, and he's looking at you, Gordon, with just fear in his eyes. But before we get to him, or get to you, Gordon, you see the spider reach down and bite towards him again. And the spider bites into him, and as he does, you see the soldier's head drop down straight as the spider starts spinning a web around him, as you think at this point, whatever that bite was, the soldier's no longer with us. But it is up to you, Gordon.
Well, is Tulio still tied up?
You would notice that Tulio, you could probably smell or hear the crackling of the spider webs as they're starting to burn. You would see that he's trying his best to get out of the web that way.
He yells, "Get away from the faithful of the Lord!" And he pulls up his musket and fires another round at the spider. And natural 20.
All right. Roll me a, let me look here.
1d6?
Now roll me a D10 for your crit. Well, roll your D10 first. Make sure it don't misfire.
3.
All right, you're good. Roll me a D20 or D10. I'm sorry, never D10.
4.
You see the spider drop. How many points of damage did you do?
Do I do 1d6?
It was a rifle D6 plus 1.
D6 plus 1. 4 plus 1, 5 points of damage.
Yeah, you see the spider as it's trying to throw up the soldier in its webbing, or meal later probably. You see it fall and slump down, and the soldier's body falls on down to the ground. You see you've done quite a bit of damage to it, but it still seems to be staying there as we go into the next round. Tulio, you can roll also for this round if you like. You're still getting out of the web.
Well, number one, at the very beginning, I'm going to do nothing.
All right. What about Gordon? Is a spider? Seems maybe it may turn on you now.
Musket actually requires 1 round to charge, right?
Yep. So if you're
to
going to
reload?
use it, if you want to use it, you're going to have to reload it this round.
He doesn't have that option, so he just grabs his battle mace that he rarely uses.
Yeah. What'd you get on your D12 though?
Oh yeah, 3.
Hey, Tulio, you're still getting out of the webbing. You seem to be. You're almost there. You're getting closer. Lead us out, Gordon.
So he, noticing that the spider has dropped, he grabs his mace real quick and runs over there and try to bash it, and rolls 4.
You should have had a backup musket on as you missed the spider.
He goes, "Whoa!"
You see the spider is turned as you've interrupted its meal it was preparing for later, Gordon. It is turned with you with nothing but fury in its eyes. It reaches out and tries to bite into you. Oh, you tell me how bad it misses you and what happens when it rolled a natural 1.
It lunges at him, and as he tries to bite him, it ends up biting into his the helmet that he was wearing. It falls off, and it trips the spider up.
That sounds good.
Yep.
Roll D12 next. Tulio, you can roll because you feel like you're almost out. Almost.
7.
All right. What did Gordon get?
4.
Lead us out, Gordon.
Taking that opportunity, he recovers his balance and rushes up and tries another swing.
Yeah, and you can add another +2 to your hit as the spider's so off balance due to his nat 1 also.
And 4 on the die.
Oh, man.
Whoa!
Tulio, you feel like you're almost out. You'll know next round you'll be out of this and can take an action.
All right, so I should roll initiative again?
Nope, not yet. The spider goes. He had an 11. So the spider turns back towards you, Gordon, as both of y'all are trying to battle the wits of who can fall first. Ooh. An 18 is going to hit you. Take 4 points of damage, Gordon, and also make me a saving throw. And I think you've got don't you have poison? +2 to poison or not?
Yeah,
yep,
+2 to poison.
You have +2 then.
I need to roll over 13. And he fails. 9.
And that's with your +2?
Actually, yeah. Still, he fails.
He failed,
rolls 11. Yeah.
You start feeling what the soldier felt a minute ago. As this stuff starts entering your body, and you start freezing up and can't move as you're pretty much paralyzed. So next round, you can roll also, Gordon, but you're pretty much paralyzed. Tulio, you are free now to do what you want to if you roll.
I'm going to knock an arrow and shoot this thing.
All right, what'd you get on D12?
I'm going to roll initiative first. I got a 7.
What did you get, Gordon?
I got 4.
The spider is just a hair ahead of you, Gordon, as you're paralyzed and can't move. And he is going to... He looks towards you, Tulio, knowing that he's got this victim paralyzed. He looks towards you, Tulio, the spider does. He moves towards you and rolls a 2. So as he moves towards you, he slips somehow and falls. Gordon, roll me a save. No modifier, just straight up save.
20.
All right. Tell me how your priesthood and your powers above have got you out of this paralysis. You're able to fight it off. You're not able to do anything else, but you're able to fight it off. Oh, he dropped.
Yeah, he said he might drop randomly, have a power source.
All right, Tulio, you tell me what you're going to do. I'll catch him when he gets back.
I pull out my bow and I snap a shot off.
All right.
I rolled a natural 20, but I don't think that really does anything.
Well, roll me a D10. It's a crit hit.
8.
Yeah, whatever you did to this thing, you see the spider. It appears to be stunned itself and paralyzed by your arrow striking into it. So it's nothing it can do next round.
Yeah, I just snap a shot right into its mouth.
So Gordon, he offers a quick prayer, and he says that, "Oh, my Lord, save his faithful." And as he tries to mutter, all of a sudden he feels his paralyzation wear off.
Yep, and we go to the next round. As I'm sorry, Gordon and Tulio, you two can roll initiative.
5.
Okay.
2.
Tulio, you had the spider stunned somehow with that powerful shot. So what can you do now? You're up.
Did I tell you how much damage I dealt last time, or did I not deal damage?
I don't think you told me, did you? But go ahead and tell me.
3.
All right. You see that shot took a pretty big chunk out of him as it stunned him.
Well, I snap out another shot. I'm going to hit... This is ascending AC, right?
Yep.
Okay, then I hit 17 for 5 damage.
Tell me how you finished. Yeah, finish the
6
spider
damage.
then.
So there's one bullet in his mouth, and I just put my second arrow through my first arrow, pushing the arrow even further in.
Yep, and you see the spider just crinkle down and just fall down as its legs and stuff furrow and curl up under it. And as you two are recovering from that, we go back to you, Danny. You and the soldier are down in the pit, correct?
Well, I'm down in the pit. I think the soldier's up top, making sure that I don't fall in unless we just tied the rope to something.
You would see after you get in the pit, you would see that he's got it secured somehow, but he feels it's pretty strong, and he starts climbing down there with you.
Okay, that's cool. So did I not hear the gunshots or anything?
Oh yeah, you would have heard all that, but you're 15 foot down in the ground.
Okay, fair enough. All right. So yeah, kind of like, hope they're okay. And then I'm gonna start. I'm gonna take my torch and I'm gonna start searching around on the ground if I can use my knowledge. Mostly, I want to see if there's anything I can tell about these animals, even if they're animals I haven't seen before. I can tell something about them due to maybe like, their teeth. If they're really sharp, I could assume they eat meat, that kind of thing.
Yeah, you also hear the soldier, when you say that about him being safe, you hear him go, he has the best one of our group with him. They'll be fine. Trust me.
All right, if you say so. I'll trust your word.
And as you look around at these carcasses and these bones, I mean, most of them are bones. There are some that still have some hide and fur and stuff on them. Appear to just be normal animals like deer and different small animals.
Okay. Like just deer and stuff like that?
Yeah, so, don't any of them appear to be anything that you have never seen before. I mean, it just all appears to be things that, just natural animals.
Okay. Interesting. And how many animals are down here? Estimating.
Oh gosh, I mean it's a whole pit full of bones and stuff. I mean you would think. Also, roll me a d6 and I'll roll for the soldier.
All right.
Oh, he got a 2.
5.
Yeah, you're looking around and maybe spending too much time on looking at these bones and carcasses, and you hear him go, "Look over here. There's a passageway." And you see him start pointing out with his torch. He starts pointing out a passageway. It seems to go on further to the west that you can go down. It's about 5 feet.
Oh, good man, I say, and I pat his shoulder. And I'm gonna pull out my long sword into my free hand. I'm gonna say, "Follow me," and kind of shrug as I say that. And I'm gonna hold out my torch ahead of me, and like my long sword, I'll have just down where I'll be able to swing it up if I need to.
Sure, and you and him move through this passageway. I mean, it's not tight, but it's nothing like the open cavern from where you come in. As you move along, it's maybe 5 feet wide.
Do I feel any like air current or anything going through here?
No, it's pretty humid and pretty just still back this way.
Okay, but my torch is staying lit, right?
Oh yeah, there's no problem with torches.
All right, cool.
All right. Yeah, you and him move along probably 20 feet into this, and it seems to open back into a somewhat bigger cavern, about 20 by 20.
Okay. While we're going through this area, I want to stop for a second, and I'm going to take out one stone from my I use my slings. I would assume these would be like round stones, right? Because you have to be round to sling them.
Pretty much, yep.
Okay, so Danny is going to drop one on the ground. I want to see while we're in this little cavern, like before the cavern, while we're in the little tunnel, does the stone roll at all?
You take it on the ground and try to roll it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I drop it on the ground, and I want to see if it rolls one direction or the other.
Nope, it just stays there.
Okay, all right, good. Then we can be pretty sure that it's not a slanted ground. So that's good. All right, I'll pick my stone back up then, and then I'll continue down into this cavern area.
Yeah, y'all move into where, like I say, it opens up into about a 20 by 20, it appears, from your torch lights. And what you and the soldier both see at the same time is this whole wall is lined with all these spider sacks and stuff. It appears that the spider is coming in and laid these eggs and stuff.
Wow. And I'm guessing that I can tell that this is like big spider eggs. Like, I mean, these are.
Oh yeah, they wouldn't look anything. Yeah, they wouldn't look anything like something you'd ever been used to.
All right. I'm gonna put my sword away. And like, of course, for the name of science and everything, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my dagger out and I'm gonna attempt to cut out one of these egg sacs. I don't want to cut into the egg sac and take an egg out. I just want to take the sac out of the web.
Yeah, you can do that. I mean, it's going to take you, it'll take you about a turn, 10 minutes or so to carefully, precisionally scalpel it out, but you can do it.
Okay. Yeah, so that's what I'll do with my time, and I have a 30-pound sack that I'm going to put it in.
Yeah, you and the soldier are doing that as we go back up top to where Gordon and Tulio are. Tulio, after you get yourself out of these webs, you see probably past these webs where you didn't see it that you run into, maybe another 10 feet past there, 20 feet at the most. It appears like there's a cavern wall. There's nothing past that.
Yeah, well, I mean, before I even noticed that, Tulio was going to be like, fuck, this is not the way he went. Oh, pardon my language, father. But god damn it.
He glares at Tulio for a second. And, we have just fought a gigantic spider that's about the size of this man over here. And he nudges at the soldier. Is he alive?
The soldier is dead, unfortunately.
And he has died. And all you have to say is that we have lost that little chap that assaulted us earlier.
Yeah, that means that all of this was for nothing. I almost died. That man died. You could have died. For nothing.
It's because you were too rash to run into this cavern without having any inkling to where that man has went.
I thought I knew where he... I thought I knew. I thought I knew where I was going.
We are in a very strange place indeed. I had never known that God's creature could be so ferocious. What is this creature? And then he nudges at that gigantic spider.
I don't know, but
we best gather the...
that we might as well take it with us, because...
Well, that I do agree with you. It'll be quite heavy for us to chug all the way back to the base camp, along with this fellow here. And he, I guess he topples the fellow, the corpse. He says, "Let us get Danny and return to the camp. This is most grim indeed."
You would know that to take the spider's body, you're either going to have to dismember it somehow, or you're going to have to come back with more people. And you would know you're roughly about 0.8 of a mile from the home camp. I mean, it would be a chore. You could do it, but you would know that it would take some time to dismember it or take it, or you're going to have to come back with some people.
He just takes the spider's leg, one of the hairy spider leg.
I just want proof of what we found, because...
Yep.
Yep, that sounds good. You can do that. You'll spend your 10 minutes doing that. And as you two are up there doing that, you also notice, like I said, these faint glowing crystals are in different areas of this big portion of the cavern that are just seem to be glowing with this natural light.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
And
take one of those too.
Yeah.
you're going to go up and break one of them off?
Yeah,
Yep.
Make me a saving throw as soon as you break it off.
I'm ready to die. Hey, actually, it's 14, right?
Scout would need a 14, yes.
Yeah, I did it.
As soon as you break it off, you hear this kind of like a hiss as this smoky stuff starts coming into your face, and you're able to jump out of the way. But you still take 1 point of damage, but you're able to fight off the smoke of breathing it in.
That was the first save I made.
Seeing all these dangerous things happen, Father Gordon decides to patch himself up. Is it 1d6?
Yeah, you're going to patch your own self up? Yeah.
Yeah. And he gets 1 point back.
Oh, well. That one may help, though.
Yeah. And he could also do Divine Inspiration, can he? Can he do that?
Tula was gonna say, all right, you know what? I've had about enough of this. Everything is trying to kill us. Let's go home.
Divine Inspiration, you would have had to use it when somebody took damage during the battle to negate it after somebody got hit.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
All right, you two are getting your spider leg and smelling the whatever it is smelling off of these crystals after Tulio broke one off. It's still quiet, and like I say, the cavern just appears to come to a dead end. There's nothing else at this end of it. We jump back down into the hole where Danny and the one soldier remaining has got the sack excised and putting in your bag. What would you like to do now, Danny?
All right, so I'll tie that sack up where hopefully the spiders will be able to get out, and I'll cause it to kind of disappear on my person. And then I'm going to take my torch, and we got that one sack of spider eggs, so I hope that that's enough for our scholars. I'm going to light these webs on fire because I'm not stupid.
All right, yeah, you can spend, a few minutes in sitting on fire. They burn pretty quick. You can take care of that issue, no problem.
Okay, yeah, so that's what I want to do. And then after that, I'll I'll inform the soldier. Okay, we got something cool to return to the camp with. So let's go.
Yeah, you might get back out into the bone pit and climb yourselves back up. But as soon as you climb back up, you hear Gordon and Tulio come walking from that northern passage.
Tulio looks defeated.
I'm gonna say I heard your guns go off earlier. I'm glad to see you've made it back okay. I was down in the hole, so I figured by the time I got there, you would either be dead or whatever happened would be dead. And then he says, "Now I'm going to read your mind if you don't mind." And he puts his fingers to his head, and he says, "Let me guess, you had to fight a big spider."
Tulio holds up the spider leg and says, "Gee, what an amazing guess."
And Father Gordon says, "You are goddamn right." And he quickly turns around and says, "Oh, Lord, forgive your poor sinner."
I'm gonna say, wow, that is amazing. Was it venomous? How big was it? Like, I'm just generally curious now.
He holds up the broken spider leg up and says, "This was his pinky, and it has slain one of our dear friend." By the way, are we carrying the corpse back?
Just one of the legs.
I mean, I'm not talking about the spider, but
the soldier.
Yeah,
yeah, we're carrying the soldier's leg. By the way,
Yeah.
We're carrying it back, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Because you still have the one soldier to help you as you move back along. As you move back, you four now, and the spider leg and the spider sacks and the corpse of the soldier, as you're all moving back along to where you come in. There's that one area where it went off kind of to the northeast. It appeared like you would need to climb up a ledge or something. And you see that soldier stop, and he goes, "Look here, a footprint, I found it."
As we're moving along, like before that happens, may I say something?
Sure.
Okay, Danny is gonna say, down in that hole, we found a whole nest down there. So the thing had was getting ready to make a family around here.
Do you mean the spider?
Yes. And he's trying to just sort of gauge their reactions to see how they would feel if he told them he had this sack. He's trying to gauge. He's probably not going to tell them anyway, but he wants to gauge if he can trust them.
Do you suppose there is another one?
Well, I mean, I don't know if there's another nest here or not.
Tulio says, "Did you burn it?"
Of course I burned the nest.
God bless you, Danny. You have done well.
And Danny will just kind of nod.
Are you getting territorial now, Nicky?
And where are the two soldiers at?
There's only one soldier left.
The one I was with?
Yep.
Uh,
He's the one that just told you he saw some footprints going off that direction of.
Okay, so he didn't hear the conversation then.
No, he's looking at these footprints, waiting on what y'all want to do about them.
Okay, cool. So we can go up to the footprint after this.
Yeah, Tulio wants to look at the footprints.
Yeah, as you get up there, Tulio, and start inspecting the footprint, I mean, it is a humanoid-sized footprint that would match the description of the short, squatty humanoid you saw, and it appears it's some type of sandal print. That it's not a barefoot. It seems like maybe they were wearing some type of sandal print.
Should Danny use his knowledge and given how deep the footprint is and how big it is, maybe judge about the height and weight of this person?
It's not really what that's for, but I mean, if you want to try it. I'm going to give you a 1/6 chance in it, though.
Okay. 5. So no, I can't do that.
Yeah,
that would have been cool though.
Yeah, but you know definitely from when you saw him, he's a pretty stout guy, but he moved very quickly for his size.
I mean, how fresh does it look?
Very fresh.
Like, since after we fought a spider, or?
Well, you would know that it's probably sometime from the time that you entered this cave, but it has to be sometime within the past 30 minutes.
I mean, is there one footprint, or is there does it lead off somewhere?
It seems like it's leading up this ledge where you're going to have to try to climb something or get up on the ledge or something.
Yeah, Toledo's going to say, do you guys want to go back and give up, or do you want to go look for this guy? He's got quite a lead on us now.
Well, I would say that I may not be the strongest man, and I may not be the smartest man, but I do say that we are quite injured. It would be not very wise for us to pursue this fellow, this savage, at the state. We would be ambushed.
Well, not to try to argue with a man of the cloth, but I would like to remind you that we did actually end up injuring this man. You and I. Tulio actually had nothing to do with that, surprisingly enough. Who would have seen that coming? But if we don't catch him now, he might get back to wherever he lives, and then they will attack us during the night. This is sort of like a declaration of war. It'd be best to take care of him right now while we still have a chance.
Danny, as you say that and give your speech about that, you look on the ground and you see the little drops of blood that are starting to stain out, but you see enough blood to know that that blood probably definitely come from the person you hit.
Yeah, so I'm giving that speech. Are we reconsidering?
Tulio says "fuck you" and he just leaves.
Okay, I'm gonna look at the father. Father, are you gonna come with me, or if you come with me, I'll go. I mean, you and I sort of created this mess, and we.
And you hear this also, Danny. You hear the soldier look at you and he goes, "We need to bring the culprit back, no matter what. I'm definitely with you."
What do you say, Father?
Well, if you are so bullheaded about this, then I have to keep you safe. I'll go with you.
Ah, thank you. You're a good man. Here, have a gift on me. And he holds up a card, and then he sort of like shakes his hand, and he tosses what should be the card, but instead a rose flies at you.
Oh, if I wasn't almost mortally wounded, I would find that most amusing. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
So Tulio, you want to head on back towards the camp, right?
I mean, yeah, if he's gonna get called useless and he's already feeling like shit, yeah, he's just gonna go home.
You gonna take your spider leg with you?
Yep.
All right. You see the soldier slump the other dead soldier's body up against the edge of the cavern, and he starts getting out some rope and stuff to get you up on this 10-foot ledge. Is Danny and Gordon.
I'll take the body with me, actually.
Ooh, that's gonna be a rough job for one person if you're gonna carry that in a spider leg. I mean, you could do it, but
I'm gonna put the spider leg like in my bag and carry the body like over my shoulder.
yep, you can do it. It's just gonna take you some time, but you can definitely do that on your own if you want to.
That's what I'm gonna do, unless I hear some shouting or, something to change
Explosion.
my mind. Yeah.
All right, Danny, you, Gordon, and the soldier make your way up on this 10-foot ledge, and as soon as you get there and see the little outcropping, you see that appears to be another 5-foot ledge to crawl up on, and of course you make your way up there with your rope and things. There's no trouble to get up there eventually, and you come into this cavern area. It appears to be roughly about a 20 by 20 foot area also, and you've got your lanterns or your torches lit, you three, but you don't hear anything or see anything, but you see the soldier point down and look, and he shows you another footprint that keeps going further into there.
I would like to, before we follow this footprint, I'm going to look around the area real quick because it seems like such an obvious trail. What I want to do is look around and see if there's a less obvious trail. Like, are there broken twigs or something like that? Like, is he trying to, juke us? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, you can look around, but you and the father roll a d6.
Yeah. 3.
5.
Yeah, I mean, just all you see is rock and natural cavern and natural rock. You don't see any type of, appears to be any type of trap or anything set up to get you out of another direction.
Okay.
So the soldier just says the same thing.
All right. Yeah, then we'll just keep following the obvious trail then.
Yeah, you keep moving in, and it kind of narrows back down to maybe a 5 by 5 again, where you can squeeze in one through at a time. But then as you move through that, it opens back up to another 20 by 20 area. As you're shining your torches and lanterns or whatever around, it appears straight ahead of you that the cavern ends again, that you're in this big 20 by 20 foot area, and both of y'all can roll a d6 again.
4.
4 as well. I haven't been doing well in the 6s all night.
No, I mean, you're in another 20 foot cavern, and the soldier's looking puzzled, and he says, well, I don't see any more footprints. He had to go somewhere, though. I don't see any way out of here.
Can I, let's see. I want to look up, how dark is it?
I mean, it's dark in here besides whatever torch lights you have lit or whatever. It's very dark in here.
Okay, so I'm going to pull my long sword out while I have my torch out. I'm going to start by trying to look up at the ceiling and see how high it is, or if there's any way up through the ceiling or to the ceiling.
Yeah, the ceiling is probably roughly, you would think, if you had to guess, maybe by the lights shining on it, it's probably 10, 12 foot high the ceilings are in here.
But there doesn't seem to be any other holes or anything in there?
Nope. All the ceiling seems to be pretty solid and secure.
Okay.
He turns to the soldier and says, "You are quite certain that this is a dead end, yes?"
Yes, Father, come look up here. And he reaches and walks another 5, 10 feet ahead as he's reaching just the cavern, and he says, "Look, it goes no further unless there's some mystery or things here that
Maybe the one that we're chasing is here, hidden well between the rocks or something." And he puts down his weapons and raises his hand and says, "I come in the name of charity, the charity of my God." And says, "I see that you are injured. I may not see you, but my God sees you. Come before me and share this bread of life, and I shall heal you." And he pulls out a little bread and puts it on the ground, and opens his arms and gestures. "Come here, break bread with us."
And you go through that ritual and do that as the soldier is sitting there, and he's put his musket, his rifle back up, shouldered it, in a non-threatening manner. Maybe as Danny's inspecting the ceiling as you're doing this. It's quiet. You get no response or anything. But roll me a d6.
2.
You look in front of you with the soldier. He's holding a lantern also, or a torch, and as you're looking in front of you, Father Gordon, and you look up that 5 foot in front of you, and you see something that appears to be maybe 10, 12 inches long, appears to be made out of wood that's laying on the cavern floor. Doesn't look like it belongs there.
Gordon walks up there and picks it up.
Yeah. When you get up there closer and start to pick it up, maybe you're not a smoking man yourself, but seen other people smoke, and you pick it up, and it appears to be some type of wooden pipe and stuff, and it's got different ruins and stuff etched along the side of it. It appears to be pretty old, but it's an ancient wooden. Just note down for now, it's an ancient wooden pipe, and I'll tell you about later what it does.
He picks it up and he puts it in his pack, and he looks around for other signs like bloodstains or something like that.
Yeah, you didn't. You keep looking around, and we jump back to you, Danny, for a moment as you inspected the ceiling height, and you don't see any openings or anything up that way. Roll me a d6.
6.
But you do notice
stalactites in here.
There are, but you do notice something else away from the father and the soldier, who they're maybe looking at this pipe they just picked up. You look over in a little crevice along the cavern wall. You see a glow. A glow of something appears. Maybe you don't know if it's natural light that is coming through, but you see something glowing into a crevice of that cavern wall.
Okay, I'm going to carefully approach. My lantern is out in front of me. My sword is sort of down behind me, but where I can bring it up and swing easily if I need to.
Yeah, and you go up enough to see it, and you see inside this crevice, there's this light that is shining, and it doesn't appear to be natural at all, because as you're looking at it and maybe start to reach or looking to see what it is, you see a brass candle holder, and you see this white candle that is on this brass candle holder, and it's lit, and this light is trying to permeate out from it.
Okay. Danny is going to kind of furl his top hat, kind of acting like he didn't see anything, and he's actually going to step back from here and start making his way to the soldier and the other and the team members quietly.
So he's not going to try to reach in and bring it out?
I mean, does it look like a room or something in there?
No, it's just this brass candle holder that is sitting there with this candle that is lit inside there. I mean, just deep inside the crevice of the wall.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying there was like I could tell a room was there or something.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and reach down in there and see if I can pull it out.
Make me a save as you do. No, I'm joking. You reach in and pull it out, and sure enough, as you pull it out and inspect it, it starts shining into like a 10-foot radius of where you're standing, even with the lantern light that you have. And you see it's just a brass candle holder with this candle in there, but just the flame seems to be burning, but you don't get any warmth or heat off the flame, but it just radiates out into like this big 10-foot radius around you.
Interesting. Well, I'm instantly just in love with this artifact. I'm going to put my torch out, and I'll do it in a flashy way, even though no one's watching. Like I put it under my armpit or something. And I'll have this candle now. That's lighter, helps me. I feel like it helps me balance more with my sword and everything. And is there anything else in this area, or it just kind of looks like a dead end?
Yeah, after you go over to, of course, if you're going to have it out, Father Gordon, you're going to see her holding this brass candle holder with this candle that just seems to appear to be lit, giving out a 10-foot radius of light.
He says, "Blessed Saint Ignatius, what is that you're holding over there?"
Danny says, well, obviously, it's a candle.
But it doesn't look like a regular candle.
He lifts up the brass tubing, and he like pulls the thing down and looks like on top of it, and he kind of like looks around it. He's actually not looking for anything. He's just kind of trying to show off. And he says, looks like a regular candle to me. He might be kind of pretending that he's doing this somehow, but he's gonna kind of let it play.
All right, Father Gordon, how would you react with the wooden pipe? Are you going to share that with her? You and the soldier both know it, but as far as Danny would not have seen that y'all found that. Would you show it to him?
Yeah, he pulls it out of the sack and he shows him. This I picked up a moment ago. I don't quite know what it is. And he holds it up and shows it to Danny.
Wow, interesting. Can I do my knowledge on it?
Yeah, you can. You got a 2 out of 6, ain't it?
Yeah. I haven't been hitting anything all night, so 1. Yes, finally.
Yeah, as you pick it up and maybe inspect it where Gordon lets you look at it closer, you see those etchings and what appear to be some type of ancient ruins that are engraved into this wooden pipe. And pretty much, as you're going to spend 10 minutes examining and looking at it, this is something weird and something that is not just a regular pipe. It's going to have some type of unknown properties that somehow someone's going to have to use it and find out what it does. But this is definitely not of your world.
This has a feeling to it. I've never felt wood like this before, and these languages. I mean, it could be that whoever made this made some kind of ritual behind it, and he kind of sniffs it and but I don't know. I think this would be really interesting to maybe have a go around when we head back to camp. And then he'll and he sort of like waves one hand in front of the other and makes it vanish from you for a second, Father. And then he reaches like right behind your beard, and when he pulls it out again, It's like you pulled it out of your beard.
Gordon just looks at you, stares at you, and shakes his head.
He's gonna hand you. He's gonna, let you have your pipe back if you want it back. But he suggests that when we get back, we all have a puff pass with it. 420, blaze it.
You three, as you make your way out and back down with no further trouble, and you find no type of what appears to be exit or anything from that room at all. I mean, you maybe search a few more minutes, but you find nothing. You hear nothing. You have not seen the small human at all. As you exit back out and head back towards the camp yourselves, you finally catch up with Tulio, who's still dragging his leg from the night before, and also he's also dragging the body of the soldier. But the one soldier who made it back, it helps Tulio drag it back to the deal. And just for reference on the map here to show you, this green area right here, over here in number 8, the red circle that is marked, that is pretty much where the cave was into this forested area. The dark green is this forested, wild the grassland. But the red one right here I'm marking is where you would have found the cave for future reference. You would know it's roughly maybe almost a mile back to home base. Not quite a mile, but almost, just for reference. But you make it back to where you're starting to build some type of home base. The mayor, Sir Eric Paddleton, and Sanchez come up to greet, and Sanchez looks at the soldier. Where are the other two? As the soldier asks to share and show the body of the one fallen comrade that he's brought back also. As they go that evening, y'all would prepare for some type of burial. Father Gordon, why don't you lead us with that and what you're going to do to help the burial of these 2 soldiers and also the person that was found dead on the beach that morning?
So, with 3 graves dug and everyone gathered around, Father Gordon says, "These brave souls have taken upon this quest to claim new land in the name of the Empire and in the glory of God. But they have bravely crossed the ocean, found a new land, and in the process have perished. May we never forget their valor, and may we succeed. For God is with us, and we shall indeed succeed in our mission. Let their deaths not go in vain." And he finishes.
Tulio, after you get back to the camp and as the evening closes in and night begins to fall, what are you going to do to end this day that is, or these 2 days that's almost been horrific to you?
Try and get to some sense of normalcy, Spend time with the common people, maybe play games of chance, drink, actually do real work. Just trying to forget about all the shit that just happened.
We jump over to you, Danny, as you've come in with your ever-burning candle and helping the Father and hearing him do the last prayers for these 3 fallen explorers and persons who have come to join you in this new land. How is this evening going to end for Danny as night falls?
I would like to ask one question real quick.
All right.
Is it possible that Danny could have done a switcheroo on that pipe? Like he would have, could have given the Father back like a stick and...
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
All right. I just wanted to check if that was possible. Okay, so then once the funerals and everything are over, Danny's going to kind of slink away. He'll make his way over to the researchers' tent. I would assume they'd kind of get their own tent because they would have to do research stuff and everything. And I'd like to find the head researcher and tell her, like, hey, we found this species, this new species on the island. The spider they brought in. I might have managed to capture some of its very, very young, and he'll show her, open the sack and show her the egg sac that he has.
Yeah, what is this scholar and the researcher's name? What is her name?
Her name is Kawaii.
All right, sounds good to me. Yeah, and she'll take it from you if you leave it with her, and she'll have a team to look into it.
Does she maybe give me a reward of some kind? Oh yeah, money's not really important here, is it?
Well, she looks at you when you mention reward, and she goes, "Reward for building a new settlement? I mean, your reward should be in your heart and not your pockets."
You're very right. I'm sorry, milady. I just said milady. Oh my god. Ugh. He says, I'm sorry, dear. You're quite right. Here, and he holds up a card and says, have a gift for my rude behavior. And he'll flick the card, and as he does, a rose appears.
You see her blush quite a bit as she takes the rose from you, and she says, "Well, thank you. Anything you keep finding it would come into. We should look at. Just please bring it to me. We are discovering these new lands."
Yes. Just be careful with that specimen. We don't want them getting loose in the camp.
"No, darling, of course not. And I spent many years studying things, even though these things are alien to us. But I will do my best."
And he will thank her, and he will leave.
And just as he's about to leave, he runs into Father Gordon. And he walks up to that same researcher. He nods at Danny and pulls out the pipe that he's found and says, this strange pipe is something that we found while we are spelunking in a cavern. I don't quite know what this is." And he presents it to Kawaii.
Yeah, she takes it from you, and she looks at it herself for just a minute. And she looks up at you very perplexed and puzzled, and she goes, "I have no idea. I've never seen nothing like this. But I tell you what, let me keep it, and tomorrow I will get with one of the other scholars, and he has some knowledge of things like this. I will have him look at it and see what we can find for you, Father."
I have complete faith that you shall be successful in your endeavor.
As night falls and it begins to go where you do whatever you're going to do for the rest of the night and sleep and rest, is there anything any of you three would like to add before we come to the close of session 1 of A New Beginning? As far as play-wise, anything that your character would do the rest of the night, or anything you would...
Danny will head out to where guys are drinking at. He'll grab his deck of cards and start performing simple card tricks, basically trying to get people to buy him some drinks, assuming they need to buy them.
All right.
Father Gordon, opens up his fine wine and says, bread of life and blood of the gods." And then he drinks it and takes a sip, and he starts weeping. It's like, why did I come here in this godforsaken land? And he starts whining about his fate in being in this strange land.
Tulio is gonna drink, obviously. He's gonna get drunk. He's going to tell his friend Miguel what happened, and then he's gonna go find the father and make sure that the father knows how much Tulio appreciates his help, because he would be dead twice now.
Perfect.
Yeah, he catches him weeping and drinking by himself.
Well, then Tulio drinks with you.
Okay, cool.
As the night ends and it's a new dawn almost here, about an hour before the breaking of dawn, some of the exterior guards and stuff are walking and moving along the camp. There's been no breeze that night. The grasses there have been pretty much still and not waving. But about an hour before dawn, we look out and we see some of the grasses start moving. And we see these eyes peering through. One set, two sets, three sets, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of different eyes that appear to be standing up anywhere from 4 to 4.5 foot tall as they're peering there and looking down towards the new beginning. An hour later, dawn breaks. The grasses are still again. Nothing is seen, nothing is heard. And that will be the end of session 1 of the New World Order.